Alright, what up to whoever's watching this? Welcome to my first ever tutorial video. I'm doing a tutorial on Final Cut Pro for a friend of mine that's going to be helping, me with editing so I don't have to do all that shit. But for whoever's watching this video, you could probably learn a thing or two as well. Different people use Final Cut differently. They have different I guess ways of using the program, different, functions or whatever the case may be that they use. I'm going to show you guys how I use Final Cut. And even after using this tutorial, you'll probably, I don't know, kind of eventually find your own way of doing things, but for now, you'll learn how I do everything. So, as you can see right here, we got the main setup, the main layout. Now we want to, get a clip that we can mess with or whatever and get, show how we can do things. So, if you didn't see that, I went to File. Let me show it again. I went to File, Import Files. Like I said, there's different ways of doing everything that I'm doing right now, but this is how I do everything. Um, so I'm gonna go find a video right now, just to use as an example. I'm not really sure what I can use though. You know, let me see. Um, I should have planned this better. Let me see. I guess we'll go to Scream 4 review. Me and two people did a review on Scream 4. It's like a straight through video. So, this is it. This was done like eons ago, whatever, when Scream 4 just came out. And it's about 6 minutes long. You can tell because right here, this is how long the video is. And this is where I'm up to in the video. As you can see, wherever I put, this thing shows me, at what time I'm at, I'm up to in the video. Right now I'm up to 4 minutes, 7 seconds, or whatever. Now, there's two ways you can cut your footage. The way I usually do it is I like to cut the footage before I put it on the timeline down here. So let's say, let's play the video first of all. Right, as you can see, it says Scream 4 review. Let's say if I don't want this intro as part of the video. Let's say I want the video to start right here, right? But let's also say maybe I don't want it exactly right there. Maybe there's a specific part where I want the video. You can use the directional buttons on your keyboard and kind of, go through every single frame or whatever of your video to get the exact spot that you want. Let's say before I open my mouth right here. I look weird, but it's all good in the neighborhood. The way you can cut it is, as you can see here, there's two arrows kind of pointing at each other, and these are kind of, I'm not sure that, yeah, there you go. There's a mark in arrow and a mark out arrow. So if you click here, that means whatever you put on your timeline, it's only gonna put this white part. It's not gonna put anything here. Let's say I also don't want some of the ending. Let's say I want some of that cut as well. So let's play it. Let's say right there. You can click this and that will be your out point. That's where it will end. Take it, you put it here, right? You basically hold it. You click, you hold, you drag it to your timeline. They usually add, this usually comes up sometimes. It asks you if you want to, this timeline to match the settings of your clip. I usually click yes because, it kind of makes more sense and, you know, it's easier to work with because when the timeline is the same settings as your clip, as you can see from here, you only have to render audio, and I'll explain that a little later on. But as you can see, we got it here. The intro was not here in the beginning. That's because we did the whole mark in and out. You can also cut on your actual timeline itself by clicking on this razor tool and picking the spot you want to cut it at. Um, so right now, if we play the video, you won't hear any audio, and that's because you have to render the audio. Audio rendering is way quicker than video rendering, so I'm gonna do it right quick. Okay, it's asking me to save my project, which I didn't do yet, so it's gonna save it to an unknown photo. So as you can see here, audio rendering, it's going pretty quick. The video is about after doing those cuts, the video is about 6 minutes and 21 seconds now, or whatever. I hope I'm loud enough. I never done one of these tutorials before, so just bear with me, people. The audio is rendered, and now you can hear it.
And just now, we just got finished watching.
Let's say I want to cut after I say watching. Now, as you can see, while I'm pressing left and right, well, you can't see it, but I'm pressing left and right on the keyboard, and you can hear the audio per frame. I do this a lot to get specific cuts that I want on a clip. Like if I want like a very, very specific cut on it, like let's say after I say whatever I'm saying here. Alright, let me see. Alright, let's say right here, I stop saying a word or whatever. I want to cut it. I use the razor tool. Once you go close enough to where your your thing is at, it gravitates towards it if it's close to it. You click that. Now you have two separate files. You can do whatever you want with them. Let's say you want to delete the first one. You highlight it. You can press delete on your keyboard. That's how I do it. And then to bring this to the front like that, you can either drag it or click on the empty space and press delete. And that's how you can bring your clip all the way to the beginning of the timeline. Now, I guess I will guide you to the many effects and things like that you can apply on your clip. Or let's say if you want to add music to the clip. Let's say you don't want to have me talking or whatever, me and these two people talking. Instead, you want to have music playing. You can go to import files, find a song that you want. I'm gonna pick this song just because I like this song and I just thought of it. I have two versions of it. I'll pick this one. You can also test it out. Right? You can also do the same cutting. Let's say if you don't want a specific part of the song. So let's say I want the whole song. I could just take it and drag it to the audio section of the timeline. Audio is represented by green. Video is represented by light blue. And it's also represented by, this line is kind of like the border. This line is only here in case you want more space. Let's say you have videos over videos over videos and you need it like that for whatever reason. Now, you need to render the song. Being I'm part of it, again, being that it's audio, it's pretty quick. With video, this would probably take about a couple of minutes, maybe, probably even longer. It depends on how long your video is and how many frames per second and all that good shit. So it varies depending on what kind of project you're working on. Alright, so when you play it,
You at you guys because we're just really excited. That's pretty much the music.
Alright, so you can hear me and you can hear the music. To stop the audio from the actual clip to play, as you can see, there's these green lines. This control how loud or how low your audio is. The same thing can be done with the video. This decides how dark your video is. Well, not dark, transparent. So when it's transparent, that means technically it's darker, basically. But yeah, and as you can also see, you would have to render the video for that because it would have to make like its own file for the change you made. But if you bring it back to 100, that's gone. So there's a lot of rendering that goes into Final Cut. Wonder how long this video is so far. Alright, so you want the audio from the clip to, let's say, be non-existent. You can drag this all the way to the bottom and you won't hear it anymore. Press play, all you hear is the music. Right? You can also do the same thing with music. You can fuck around with it, blah, blah, blah. Now, let's say if you want the music to fade in, or you want the video. Let's say you want the video to fade in. All right. Now you use what they call a pen tool. What this does is this. Well, let me show you what it does. It's kind of hard to explain. All right, so oh, by the way, this thing that I'm clicking on right now, it makes the clips farther or closer. So if you have if you're working on a timeline where you have a lot of clips, or it's a really long timeline, you can stretch it out to see the whole thing, or you could just zoom in if you want to focus on a particular clip. You can also use this to do the same thing. You can see the whole thing now, or you can just just get right down to it and you can see it more detailed, like if you need to make specific cuts or whatever. So I'm gonna go to the first frame of this whole timeline, which is right here, the very first thing there, and click it. As you can see, it's made like a little circle on it. Now let's say I want this fade in to be about 3 seconds long. So I'm gonna click and hold. I'm gonna drag it to about 3 seconds. You don't have to drag it. You could just probably click until you find it. But this is how I make sure. So as you can see right here, I'm at 3 seconds on the timeline. That's where I want the thing to fully be faded or whatever. You make a circle for this too. Now the point of the circles is now you can click one of them and do whatever you want, but the other one stays in its exact spot. Meaning the first circle all the way at the end over here, the one I'm moving, you could bring this all the way down, meaning you cannot see it. You can't see the clips. And then as you can see by this diagonal line, it's going to slowly be seen. Now, luckily with Final Cut, when you do this, all you have to render is that little area. You don't have to render the whole damn thing. So, you take it, you go to random selection. It's going to render that. Like I said, being that it's video, even though it's 3 seconds of video, it's going to take, well, it's not going to take too long, but, hopefully this shows you kind of like, the differences between, video and audio or whatever. And, so, yeah, it's going to hit 100, right? It hit 100. So now this is rendered, meaning you can play it now. Let me just undo it to show you what happens when you try to play it when it's not rendered yet. It does that. It says unrendered. Like when you pause it, you can see the clip, but you can't watch the clip, right? So I'm gonna undo that. Wait, hold up, my bad. I'm gonna redo that. And now that it's rendered, there you go. That's how you fade in. You could do that exact same thing with music. You could fade music in. You can fade clips out. You can fade music out. You can do whatever you want. You can mess with that. Blah-de, blah-de, blah-de. Now, these are the 3 only clips I usually use. To learn about other clips that you may want to use, I mean, there's other tutorials for that. Like I said, I'm just showing you what I do. Let's say we want to add an effect to the clip, right? So, if you want to add an effect that happens to the whole clip, it doesn't really matter where at the clip you click on. You just double click the actual video file itself to make sure that it's on it. You go to effects, video filters, and right here there is plenty of things that you can do to it. You could, let me see what we got here. You could sharpen it if it looks too blurry. You can color tint it. You can let me see, flop it, meaning it's gonna do this, opposite or whatever the case may be. Let's see what else you can do. That's a horrible screenshot of me, man. Let me find something. Yeah, let's do that. I was looking a little funky there. All right, so let me see what we got here. You can mirror effect it. There's all kinds of things, people. You get earthquake effect. Just, like, the best thing to do is just to test them out. Test out each one when you have some free time. Magic Bullet I actually purchased, so you won't have that on yours. Yeah, there's all kinds of things. Like I said, test them out, see what they do. There's things to make it black and white. For instance, color corrector 3-way is a program I use a lot. Is a filter I use a lot. that controls colors really well actually. Saturation, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but that has to do with color. So with that you can make the clip black and white, or you can blast the color, which I don't know why someone would do that. There's some situations where you may have to do it, but mostly, the middle is fine. You can also mess with the colors of the blacks, meaning the darkest parts of the screen, as you can see there, which is my shirt, the futon that we're sitting on, my friend's clothes over there. You can change the color of that to whatever you want. I don't usually, change the color of the blacks because I feel it looks a little weird, so I don't really bother with that. Mostly what I use is yeah, my computer's kind of slow sometimes. It's okay. It'll be fine. Just, alright, computer, let's go. Let's. I'm doing a tutorial here. People gotta learn some shit. Really, that's how it is. Okay. I use mids a lot. This changes the color of the colors that are basically in the video. That's not, bright really, not white, not black. Kind of the middle colors. You can change that. That's what I mostly use. Let's go back again. Or whatever. Also, as you guys may know, there's lines here, basically, and that is simply to allow you to brighten up. Or let me just show you this right quick. This just brightens the lights, as you can see in the wall behind us, and this girl's shirt is the brightest stuff in the clip. This focuses on that mostly, and stuff like that. I use that a lot, especially when I have two clips that are two different colors and I want the colors to kind of match and whatnot. So that's for that. So yeah, like I was saying about these bars in the bottom. Basically, what this does is this brightens. Like for example, this bar brightens and darkens the blacks. This one brightens and darkens the mids. This one does it for the whites, basically. Um, and no matter what you do to the clip, you're gonna have to render it. The only way that I seen that you don't have to render a clip is when you've really done nothing to it, and the sequence has the same settings as the clip, which it asked me earlier in the tutorial, as y'all know. So I'm going to delete this since you guys get the idea. As you can see, I don't have to render that anymore. You do have to render this part again, however, because it has to redo it because we applied a filter and we deleted it. You'll get the hang of it eventually. I know like this rendering shit and all this stuff doesn't make too much sense now, but once you get the hang of it, just like anything, you figure it out. The next thing would be if you would like to add text to your clips, which is another thing I use a lot. I go to text and then I select which type of text effect I want. This one is a typewriter text. It's self-explanatory. The letters come in one by one. This one is a straight text. This one, the text scrolls. Obviously, it says it there. Like I said again, you would have to check them out. I'm gonna click outline text for now because this is what I usually use. As you can see here, it says sample text. What I like to do is, as you can see right here, you can move it around, but that's not what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna go to undo, bring it back to the middle. I'm trying to get this on my timeline. You do that by clicking up here and clicking only image, because wireframe is what allows you to drag it around this screen. So you click image only, you take it, you drag it to here, and you can put it wherever you want. The text would take its own, I guess you could say, video line. You can have as many video lines as you want, which is very flexible and good, for being an editor, because a program like Movie Maker only gives you one line to work with, so you can't have overlay lines, you can't have clips over clips, you can't have like one clip transition into another one that's over it. So, this is a really useful thing to have, both video and audio. So, as you can see, my sample text is right here. It's covering my face. We have to render it, of course, but we don't want to name it sample text. We want to name it something else. So let's call it Scream 4 review, since that's the video that we're on. You can name it whatever, obviously. I'm gonna name it Scream 4 review, and then you just click a tab to see it change or whatever, and you have everything at your disposal basically here. You could change the font type. You know what I'm saying? You could change the style. You could change. Nah, that looks terrible. Let me see. So let's bring it to here. That's fair, right? You could change where it's aligned to, which helps sometimes. You could change the size of the text. You know, the size of the blackness around it if you picked outline text. You know, usually when I do that, I like to have the background. You know, not background. Why am I saying the outline, the black outline around it? You know, at like around here. You know, this is self-explanatory. Just mess around with it. You'll eventually get it. This is your filters tab again. This is where, you know, the color corrector went. This is where, you know, if you ever want to apply a filter of any kind to your clips, it'll be over here. And then here is controlling, you know, if you want, let's say, the Scream 4 review text to fade in, if you wanted to move into the shot, if you wanted to do one of these, whatever you wanted to do. I'm going to show you one thing. Well, I'm going to show you about two things I usually do to this to make it do something. So I use all of these. This crop is, you know, let's say you want the text to do this, right? Let's say you wanted to do this, right? All right, let me bring it back to 100 because that's default. Let's say you wanted to rotate in, you wanted to, an edge feather is if you want, you know, to come in, but as you could see there, it's kind of has like a fade look to it instead of just being sharp. This I use sometimes. I'm not gonna explain this now because it would take way too long. I rarely use that, and you're probably gonna rarely use it too. You will most likely use this a lot though. This fading thing or whatever. With that though, you can do exactly what I did with the clip earlier and just make two dots, like, you know, bam bam or whatever, depending on however long you want the fade, you know, to be, is, you know, dependent on where you put this dot. So like if I was to put this dot all the way over here, it would take longer to fade and things like that. I'm sure that's not, you know, that hard to figure out. So being that we have already done a fade effect, let's do kind of a, let's do an effect like this. Let's have the text come in like that. So as you can see from here, that's a left crop. Basically, you can do it however you want. You can have it come from the right, come from the top, bottom, etc., etc. I want it to come from the left, right? So let's say from the left, well, from the right technically, from the right to the left would be the left crop. So I'm going to bring it to where you can't see the text. Some people would probably have it all the way at the end. I would have it probably like right where you can't see it. And then as you can see, the green lines are here. I'm going to, you know, zoom in by clicking this. You know, you can tell it's zoomed in because each of these boxes is a frame. That means you're really close to it. I'm going to click here. That's going to be my start point, like you know what I did before. And then let's say, actually, you know, that shouldn't be the start point because the beginning of the clip should be the start point. As you can see here, this will be the beginning of the clip. You know, it tells you visually. So I'm going to drag it to the beginning of that. So now it's, look in the timeline, now it's here, the first dot. So the clip starts out where you can't see it. Now let's say we're at 3 seconds. Let's say for this, I want it to come in 2 seconds. So we'll bring it to 5. Right? 2 seconds from 3 is 5, correct? You bring it here, zoom in again, add in the dot, and then for this dot, we're gonna click this and then bring it so you can see the whole thing. So what that does is the first dot, you can't see anything. The second dot, you can see the whole thing, and it's gonna transition from the first dot to the second one. So it's slowly going to bring the text from the right of the screen to the left of the screen, depending on how you did it. Right? So I'm going to render this. I'm not going to render the whole thing because it's going to start to take a little long. As you can see here, it's going to start to, you know, because like I said, with video, it takes way longer than audio and things like that. And we don't have time to keep looking at this this little render screen. So I guess, yeah, I guess the 20, we'll stop it there. And we'll play it. There you go. You see this part's not rendered because I didn't let it finish. I'm gonna render it a little bit more. I'll bring it to about, I don't know, 10 or whatever. But with any effect that you want to do, the start and end points is what you're going to be using for just about everything you're going to be doing. So let's play it now. More of it's rendered so we can see more of it, as you can see there, right? Scream 4 review. And then you can have it fade out at the end. You can make the clip shorter by using this arrow button and dragging it. It'll also tell you how long the clip is. As you can see right now, it's 10 seconds. And on the left side, it tells you how much you're cutting out, how much you're adding. You see it says plus 1 second, plus a second and 20 milliseconds, negative 1 second, you know, and then it also tells you what the new duration is, you know. So it's 10 right here. I can bring it to 8, so it will be an 8-second clip instead of a 10-second clip. The clip will be shorter, let's say, if you want that. And then you can do the same exact thing you did, bringing it in, do the complete opposite at the end and bring it out. So I'm just gonna do this really quick, just in case you still don't really know. So let's say I want it to be a left thing again, meaning it's gonna go back the way it came, basically. This is at 11 seconds, as you can see here. I'm gonna bring it to about 10 seconds and click it again. See, and I'm going to leave this alone because that's the starting point. The starting point, you already see it, but at the ending point, let me bring it a little bit this way so you can see it better. At the ending point, I want it gone because I want it to be, I don't want you to see it anymore once, you know, the clip is no longer there. So I'm going to do it for that. And without having to do the whole render thing, you can see here that it leaves the same way it came because I did the start endpoints again. I guess I'll show you guys one more thing. Like I said, I use a lot of the basic tools here because, you know, there's a lot of extra stuff that you really don't need, or, you know, you can find a way to make it easier. So I guess the only thing I can really add in or whatever is a transition, which is really easy. Let's say, why is it not moving? Okay, let's say I want this to transition from this clip to another clip. So let's bring out another clip, right? We're gonna bring I don't know, whatever. Let's see, another random video. Let's see here. Let's put this. And don't ask what this clip is. It's just kind of, it was a blooper for a video we did. Actually, nah, this clip type whack. Let's get y'all a better clip because I don't know. So yeah, all right. Let's go to let's go to no category. All right, this was a video of me drinking 2 raw eggs or whatever. See, I kind of had a little bit of, you know, a little something. I used to work out around these times and shit. But anyways, so this is me, I guess, approving of it don't taste that bad or whatever.
No, I can't handle.
Yeah, you see. All right, so as you can see, I put a mark in, mark out, meaning I just want this little piece of it because I'm just going to show you guys a little example. You put it there. You bring it in. You have to render both video and audio because the sequence settings only match this clip, not this clip. But it doesn't matter for now. Now, as you can see, while you're on this button right here, you can click here, basically. And you might be wondering what that is. That's so you can put a transition in between the two. I'm going to pick just one really quickly because I know this video is kind of going a little too long now. So let's say you want a page peel effect. Like I said, try everything, fuck with everything. I'm going to pick this. What that's going to do is give you a page peel effect. So, I guess I'll render this little part right quick, show you exactly what it does. And, aside from this, that's really mostly what I use. You know, that's a lot of the basic things I use. I'm pretty sure I've missed one or two things, but I think this is a good way to start you off for now. So right here, page PO, you can also click the end of it to extend it, make it that it takes longer to peel or it's shorter. Like I said, it shows you the duration that it's at right now and how much you're taking out or putting in. I apologize, people. Got kind of a cold right now, but that's about it so far. I'll probably make another tutorial to explain more, but that's mostly the basic things you'll probably be doing when working with videos. If you have any more questions or there's anything else you want to learn, let me know. Thank you.